Welcome to EJH Bridge Cars. So it's time to work on the seats some more. So I'm starting to work on the seat back. We need to strip off what's left of the wooden nail around the bottom, which is basically was a piece of plywood. It's basically 3 layers of veneer now, what's left of it. So you get that off and we'll try bending the new one in and whatever cleanup needs to be done on the seat. I think there's a dent in the back if I recall. We'll get that out and get it prepped and ready for padding. So let's take a look. So this is the seat back. Another video we stripped out, and you can see this piece of wood, just how broken up that is. And it was a piece of plywood. There's not much left to it. So we need to get that out. There's 3, they call it rivets. One there by my thumb, one there, and they seem to be kind of hollow. Anyway, we're going to need to get those off. And I'm thinking, because I'm going to use solid lumber, and probably just drill through the back and put a screw in and then grind it flat on this side so that it doesn't tear up the fabric. And as you can see, there's an extra piece of steel in the bottom, and that's just to rigid this up. This is where the pivots go. And it goes all the way underneath here to give it some strength. And there's the dent. How that got dented there, I don't know. It's like something hit it here while something was behind it there. God only knows. 71 years, cars can have a pretty rough life. There's the other side. As you can see, the top half of the seat is in far better condition than the bottom was, and I expect that's because being vertical, it didn't puddle any water. So we'll run a wire brush over this quickly to clean it up a little bit. Let's get this piece of wood off of here and the rivets out and see where we go from there. There's the rivets. They look like those things they used to use in school to bind fold paper together. You push this through and bend the ears over, though I expect they're a bit stiffer than the ones we used on paper. Probably not by much, and they seem to be probably rusted into the holes. I'm going to try and tap them with a hammer and see if that breaks them loose. Now there's one of the rivets. I don't know how well you can see that. This is the one that came out of the most, so there was no reusing these, that's for sure. And they certainly seem to be stronger than what was I think of from school. What this looks like a standard solid rivet, and it's been cut down the middle and then flared over instead of being stamped out of a piece of sheet metal. So anyway, we'll figure another way to attach that board. So this is how it looks after it's there. Here's that backing piece is everywhere. I'm going to take a wire brush and just clean this up a little bit. Maybe throw a little primer behind it, just for good measure. Don't get that done. So this wood's been soaking for, I don't know, 5 or 6 days. I ripped it down to 1 inch wide, 22 inches long, which is about the size of the old one. And now we get to see if we can get it to bend into here. All right. Clamped it onto the end rather than just pushing in the middle. I just think that this is cracked in half there. So I did crack it in the middle, and that's because I think I had this down too low, that this ride's a bit higher to be in a straight line. So I don't think that that's going to matter too much. So I got it well clamped, and it, other than this cracking in the middle, which happened really early installation, the rest of it bent in pretty nice. So now I'm going to take some small screws like that, and I'm going to drive them in the metal into the wood and just leave them for now. And after everything dries, I'm going to grind the points off, and I may try to grind the backs a little flatter so they won't show up so much through the vinyl. And yeah, but I think that'll hold it. Now I'll pre-drill a hole for them. So put a couple of these in, being really careful not to drill into the wood. And it probably would have been a good idea to drill these holes first, but you know, hindsight and all that. Like right there. I'm using oval heads so they'll countersink a little bit. Oh, battery went dead in the drill, but you get the idea. So I decided just to counterbore the holes a little bit. A little bit more now. There we go. You just do that with a bigger drill. Or you can use a proper counterbore set, which I have too, but I was too lazy to go get them for this. And that's going to make those oval heads sit a lot lower. And it's easy enough to do, particularly if you get two drills, so you're not having to switch the bit back and forth. Like that. Put in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 screws. We originally only had 3 rivets. And I'm going to leave it clamped up overnight, let that wood dry out, and hopefully it'll form that bend. Well, it's the next day and it's in the 80s and pretty dry. And this lumber is dry now, so the moment of truth, I guess we take the clamps off and see if this works. Yeah, nice and tight. Just need to trim these screws down, and we should be good. There they are ground out. So I suppose a lot of what makes this work is if these screws are really in shear, because this thing is just trying to spring out, which would have to push these ends out. So I was kind of tempted to put some glue behind it, but the wood was wet. I'm not sure the wood is stuck. So anyway, but there it is, all in one piece. I think that'll be fine. Particularly this one, because it wraps both sides, so it gets pulled both ways. And there's the screw heads. So I think that'll work well. So I hope you enjoyed that. Another fairly short video, but it seemed like it'd be too long to add it to the padding installation. So this is where we're at. Don't forget to share, like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll see you next time.